Okay, welcome to your first revision video for Vocational ICT. This is just going to focus on different computing devices and some common input and output peripherals. Now, we've done this in class, it's just a recap and it's just for revision purposes. So, according to the spec, this is what you are going to need to know. Now, we are only focusing on the first three bullet points on this slide. So, computing devices, input devices, output devices. In other videos, we're going to be looking at storage devices, basic internal components like your CPU, your memory, different things like that, and common ports. Right, some key terminology to start with. So, a computing device is any electronical machine that processes information or performs calculations. Now, these devices, they take an input, they process that information, and then they give an output. Now, they also store the processed information, or they can store that processed information like a PC, like a computer. They can be very simple, like a calculator that you use in maths, or very, very complex, like a full-blown multifunctioning computer, a general-purpose computer, desktop, or a video games console. So some common examples of computing devices. So a smartphone. Everybody's walking around with a computer in the pocket now, so it's a small handheld device that can make calls, browse the internet, and run apps. So main advantages of a mobile phone is they're always with you. You've always got them. They're small enough to carry around. They're incredibly portable. You'd be hard pushed not to find somebody that doesn't use their mobile phone for work, for pleasure, for home life, things like that. So people are consuming YouTube videos, Netflix, social media apps, checking emails for work, all sorts of different things. The multifunctioning. Disadvantages of a mobile phone is small screen size, so you can't get much on there, you can't have multitasking on there. Some phones do allow a version of multitasking, but not what you would find on a computer. Limited storage, so the storage capacity on mobile phones is quite limited, although you can get a phone with 256 gigabyte, which will talk about storage capacities in another video. That will soon be consumed when you're downloading apps, you're taking videos, you are taking pictures and things like that. And obviously, the more you do on your phone, complex tasks like running apps in the background, taking videos, taking pictures, it's going to drain your battery quite quick. Next computing device is a laptop. Laptops, portable computers used for work, school and entertainment. Lots of people have replaced their desktop computers with laptops, mainly because they're so portable and they've become more affordable as time's gone by. Main advantage is they're portable. You can pick them up, you can move them around. The battery operated, so although you can use them with them being plugged in, you can also disconnect that charger and you can walk away with it into the kitchen. You can go into another office and you can continue to use it. So they're very, very versatile. They work like a general purpose computer, like a desktop PC. So you can multitask on them. You can run apps like games. You can run office productivity apps. All sorts of different things on a laptop. Obviously, the more powerful a laptop, if you were wanting to do gaming on a laptop, you're going to be spending more money than if you just wanted to browse the internet and check your emails. It all depends on the components inside and the manufacturer. Obviously, Apple are a lot more expensive than other manufacturers. Disadvantages, more expensive than desktop computers. Mainly because they are smaller in form factor, so the components cost more to manufacture. They're smaller, more precise than desktops. Limited upgrade options though, so they're a lot more fiddly to upgrade. You can upgrade them, not necessarily Apple products, because they're now designed to be a lot more difficult to get inside of and manipulate, but standard laptops that you would find, like Acer laptops, Asus laptops, things like that, you can open them up, you can upgrade the RAM inside of them, you can upgrade the storage inside of them quite easily. but it is limited upgrade options really when it comes to a laptop, and they have a shorter lifespan. The battery inside laptops are designed to only have a certain amount of cycles, so you will see as time goes by your battery lifespan sort of degrades, just like it does on your mobile phone. Next one is your common desktop computer. Now you do get them different types of desktop computers. The ones at school are towers, so you'll see the tower under the desk or on top of the desk along with your monitor and whatnot. Inside of that tower you've got your motherboard, your CPU, all of the components that we're going to talk about in another video. The generally more powerful, obviously the better quality components, the more powerful components are going to cost more. Advantages: high performance, multitasking. You can do all sorts on them, from graphics editing, video editing, animation, office productivity, browsing the internet, checking your emails, gaming, all sorts of different things. Very easy to upgrade and repair. You can get inside them a lot easier than you can a laptop to upgrade them. When it comes to some desktop computers, you can get all-in-one computers where everything's in the back of the monitor. They're a little bit more fiddly when it comes to upgrading, but in simple terms, a standard desktop computer, easy to upgrade, large storage, as storage has become a lot more cheaper, and we'll talk about storage in another video, and high performance. Disadvantages though: they're bulky, they're not portable, they're not designed to be picked up and carried around from one room to another. You would generally sit it at a workstation, and that's where it stays, and that's where you would do your work from. And they require power constant, so you can't use them off without power. They don't have batteries in them that is going to run when you disconnect the power source. Tablet computers so tend to have replaced computers in a lot of homes now. So they're dead easy to use. A touchscreen device, a bit like like an iPad or a Samsung tablet, things like that. Basically a bigger version of a phone, that are great for browsing the internet, media consumption, like consuming Netflix and YouTube, different things like that. So people that are not power users, that are not using the computers for work and just need emails, just need to watch YouTube every now and then, just need to browse the internet, tend to have replaced them things with tablets because they're easier, they're more portable, like we've got in the advantages, highly portable, intuitive touchscreen technology, so they're easy to pick up and start using, and longer battery life than a laptop, for instance, because of the components that are used inside. They're designed to last, to use less power, and in turn that's going to extend the battery life. Disadvantages though: limited processing power, so they're not these highly powerful computing devices. You can play some nice games on them now, in terms of like downloading a game from the App Store, 3D games and stuff. That's going to drain your battery. It's not going to be as smooth as it would be on a gaming PC or a gaming laptop. They're not ideal for complex tasks, although they can do some complex tasks, like a iPad Pro, for instance. Some people do use them for video editing. It's not ideal. They will lag depending on the size of the job that you're doing and things like that. Some can be expensive, some can be cheap. Again, when it comes to cost, it all depends on the quality of the components and how powerful they are and things. Video games console, so like your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Nintendo that you've got at home, used for playing video games, although they do tend to have, back in the olden days when you got a PlayStation 1, for example, it was just purely a gaming device. Now the PlayStation 5 is a gaming device, but it's also got extended media functionality, so you can download Netflix, you can download Prime Video, you can download YouTube, you could download Twitch, different apps, social media apps, and you can use your video games console for things like that. But mainly used for games. Optimized for gaming, so very high quality graphics chips inside of them. User friendly, very easy to pick up and use. Limited to gaming and media consumption really is a disadvantage. They're expensive, especially the accessories that come with them now. So if you wanted another controller, you wanted some other sort of accessory like a to extend the storage on it, maybe it's like a portable hard drive. Especially if it's branded, it's going to be more expensive. Less versatile than PCs, so again, you're not got that multifunctionality of a general PC. You're not going to be doing video editing, you're not going to be doing animation, you're not going to be doing multiple tasks at once. You're gaming or you're consuming like YouTube, for example. Final computing device is going to be our servers. So servers are powerful computers that store and manage data for websites and networks. Servers can look just like your computer under your desk at school, like in a tower. They can also be sort of like a horizontal server inside of a server rack in a server room. But basically, it is a powerful computer that is designed to serve other devices on a network. Advantages of servers is that can handle many users at once. They've got lots and lots of memory inside them, RAM, which we'll talk about in another video, very high quality fast processors, lots of storage, so they can handle lots of requests. They're secure, and it's a centralized storage. It's more ideal to store your data somewhere central, for example, like if you think about your work at school, rather than having it saved on a computer in one room where you would always have to use that computer. If we store it on a server, doesn't matter which computer you log into, as long as it's got access to that server, you can pick your files up. Disadvantages of a server: expensive to set up and maintain. It's not just about, oh, I'm going to go and buy a server, I'm going to stick it on my network and it's going to work. There's a lot more technical expertise that's required in setting up a server, so there's some disadvantages there for servers. Now, going into input devices, so key terminology. An input device is any peripheral, really, piece of hardware that lets you send information to a computer, and it helps enter data, give commands or control a system. There's lots of different ones. Common examples: keyboards, mice, microphones, tablets, all sorts of different things. So we're going to look at a few, because there's another video coming up where we're going to purely concentrate on printers and scanners. So they're two different types of peripherals, but they're not in this video. So mice, so a traditional mouse. Purpose: it's a general use mouse. You see them everywhere. They're on all the computers in school. It's got two everyday tasks like browsing, office work, and basic computing. It's got two buttons, a left and a right button, and a scroll wheel in the middle, and it uses an optical laser on the bottom to detect the movement on the flat surface that you're using it on. So it allows you to move that cursor on the computer. It allows you to click, double click, right click on a file to rename it, drag and drop assets on the screen, all sorts of different things. Common traditional mouse. A gaming mouse, slightly more expensive than a traditional mouse, designed for games, offering better precision, speed and customization. So you'll notice on the picture on the right hand side, there's different additional buttons on there that you can match to different actions within a game and things like that. So it allows for more flexibility, faster movement, extra programmable buttons, like I've said, for in-game actions, customizable lighting. Some gaming mice and keyboards come with LEDs that you can change the light on and things like that, just for visual aspects. And the more ergonomic, people that play games tend to play them for a long time, so they're designed to sort of hug your hand a little bit better than a traditional mouse. The final mouse we're going to talk about is a trackball mouse. Trackball mouse are really designed for, they're not that common, but if you don't have a lot of space on your desk to move a mouse around, trackball mice are brilliant because they're ideal for users needing precision control without moving the entire mouse, so you don't have to move it around a desk. Graphics designers tend to use them, but they also tend to use styluses and graphics tablets. Instead of moving the mouse, you roll the ball with your fingers on the top of the mouse and the buttons are on the side. However, you do get different designs of them. But they require less desk space, basically, and reduce the wrist strain because you're not moving your wrist a lot. So Quite good for that type of stuff. Trackpad or a touchpad. So you've all used laptops, hopefully. Purpose, it's a built-in or external input device used as an alternative to a traditional mouse, commonly found on laptops. It's touch sensitive, so it detects your finger movements. It allows you to move the cursor on the screen by rolling your finger across the touchpad. You can also, on some of them, like the Apple ones and some of the more expensive ones, you can pinch and zoom, scroll by using multiple fingers, and it eliminates the need for an external mouse. So again, great for laptops because most of the time you've got them, they're portable and you're carrying them around. Keyboards. So there's a couple of 3 keyboards we need to know, 4 keyboards actually we need to know about. The QWERTY keyboard, which is the standard keyboard that you see on computers around school. It's the most common keyboard that you're going to find. General typing, programming and computing tasks. Gets its name from the first line of letters, QWERTY, QWERTY keyboard. Functionality features a set of alphabetic keys arranged in the QWERTY layout, along with numbers, symbols, function keys, different things like that. Very, very common, very easy to use. Everybody's used keyboards, easy to pick up and start using. Input device, when you start typing, that information is going to be inputted into the computer. Another keyboard that you might not have seen, you may be unfamiliar with, Braille, designed for visually impaired users or blind users. So they can type by running their fingers across the keys, and there will be a pattern of bumps on the keys. So the letter D, for example, will have a specific pattern of bumps. So the user, as they run their finger across it, will be able to determine, well, that's the letter D, as opposed to the letter F, which is next to it on the keyboard. It's got raised dots, like I've said, that correspond to the Braille alphabet. Users press specific key combinations to input characters and things like that. So really good for visually impaired or blind users, so accessible. The final main sort of keyboard, there is one more, but it's slightly different. So the final sort of keyboard is a concept keyboard, used in specialized environments, so things like fast food restaurants, retail, where quick input is needed. So if you think about a restaurant where you go up to order your food at the bar and you were asking for steak with salad and chips, for example, instead of a server typing in steak, well done, chips and side salad, they can press a button that has steak, press a button that says well done, presses a button that says side salad, and so on and so forth. So it's all about speed and quickness. These keys can be customized, they can add new keys to them, all sorts of different things. They're usually programmed to do specific tasks for specific industries. The keyboard, so this is the last keyboard, this is the other one that I was on about, slightly different to the other 3, a MIDI keyboard. So it's used by musicians and producers to create and control digital music on a computer and synthesizer. So just like a traditional keyboard, a MIDI keyboard, which stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface, it doesn't produce sound on its own. Instead, it sends signals to the computer or other musical device, which then generates the sound. So it's a keyboard used for in the music industry for creating music. Right. Webcams. You will all have used the webcam before. You've got them basically built into your phone now. So if you've ever video called somebody or you've took a selfie, that effectively is a front-facing camera, a video camera that is taking pictures or videos. Used for video communication, streaming and recording. Captures live video and transmits it to a computer or online platform. Commonly used for video calls, online meetings, security surveillance, all sorts of different things. Obviously, you've got them built into your phones, you've got them built into laptops, you've got them built into tablets. You can buy separate ones like the picture you see on the right, which can plug into a USB. We'll talk about ports in another video, and that again extends the functionality of the computer you're using. Graphics tablets. Designed for digital artists, so that is a flat piece of plastic and it's got sort of like a trackpad on it. You've got a stylus in your hand like a pen, but without an ink nib. And as you are moving that pen across the surface of the tablet, it will draw illustrations and graphics and interact with the computer, the cursor. So it's a lot more precise than using a mouse as an example, because it's just like drawing on a piece of paper. Controllers and joysticks, pretty self-explanatory, used for gaming, controlling digital environments. You're pressing buttons. It's got analog sticks, direction pads, all sorts of different things. Both provide precision movement control and often feature feedback, so you can get haptic feedback. So if you get hit in a game, there'll be a rumble pack inside the joypad, so you can feel that feedback from the game itself. Right, output devices. This is going to be pretty short and sweet. Key terminology: output device is any tool or hardware peripheral that a computer uses to send information to you. So it takes data from the computer and presents it into you in a way that you can consume. Common examples: monitors, speakers, printers. Again, like I said earlier on, we're going to look at printers in another video. So a monitor, most common one. You've got one in front of you now, most likely. A monitor is an output device used to visually display information from a computer, such as text, images, videos, and applications, games, things like that. Receive digital signals from a computer's graphics cards and that converts them into a visual output on the screen, which you can then see. You can understand it. Used on desktop computers, laptops obviously have them built in. Your tablet, your mobile phone will have a screen that you can visually see what is happening on your screen. Speakers are another common one. Speakers, you can get external speakers like we've got there. The two at the top are just standard left and right speakers. You can get more expensive speakers that include subwoofers and other speakers that are more for if you were doing audio engineering or something like that. You can get speakers built in. Obviously, laptops have them built in. Tablets have speakers built in. Your phone has a speaker built into it. Some monitors come with built-in speakers. Output devices used to convert digital audio signals into sound that you can understand and can be heard by the user. Used for watching video, listening to music, all of that type of stuff. Dead straightforward. And then finally, we've got projectors. So a projector is an output device that displays images, videos, or presentations from your computer or your laptop or other digital device onto a large surface on a wall or a screen. Work by receiving visual signals from whatever device it's connected to, to project an enlarged version. So they're usually used in classrooms like we have at school, cinemas, offices, and to share information with a large group at meetings and whatnot. So to recap that, and I have rushed through this quite quickly, desktop PCs, they're powerful, but they're not portable. Laptops, they're portable, very portable, but they're less upgradable, so they're a lot more fiddly to upgrade. Tablets, and mobile phones are convenient, extremely portable, but they are limited in what they can do. So whereas a desktop and a laptop are more general purpose computing devices where you can have lots of different applications and things going on at once, tablets and mobile phones will struggle with that. So they're limited. Consoles, video consoles, great for gaming, less versatile, a bit like a tablet and a mobile phone. Servers are very powerful, but they're very costly. And peripherals, like we've gone over, the mice, the keyboard, the speakers, the microphone, things like that, are all devices that extend a computing device's functionality. So good luck with your revision. Make sure that you pause that video, go back if there's anything, come and ask me questions. Next video is going to be purely based on printers, because there's a couple of printers that you need to know, and also scanners. There's a couple of different types of scanners that you need to know. So make sure that you make some notes. I would like a mind map making with as much information around this stuff as possible. We'll model it in lesson. We should have modelled it in lesson by the time you see this. So yes, hope that helps, and good luck with your revision.